Hey there. So I figured I would do a quick little tutorial while I'm working on this on how to use floral tape to make foliage. So um, I'll show you a couple that I've already finished here. So we have some foliage here. Here's another one. And I even got a couple big ones that I've already made. As you can see, the leaves have the little leaf indentation in them, so I made these ahead of time. So first, I made the leaves from gum paste because I wanted them to be really strong and I wanted them to dry out a little bit faster. I am not super fast or professional at making foliage, but I'm getting better at it. So I thought that I would just share while I'm sitting here doing this for a cake that I have next week. But anyway, let's just make a little three-fer, right? So the first thing that you want to do is use floral tape. Now, and make sure you have clean hands if you're not using gloves. Floral tape, a lot of people complain that they think that it's not sticky enough, and the reason why is because it's made to stick to itself. So to activate it, you actually have to stretch it out a little bit. So the first thing is with a regular leaf, you want your smallest leaf at the top. So I found that, so this is the hardest part, is for me anyway. Some people that do this all the time, they're professionals, right? Getting the floral tape started can sometimes be tricky. So you want to start not at the top where the leaf is, but in the middle. That way there's all the imperfections are covered up. Once you get it started, and this always takes me a second, but once you get it started, you can kind of roll it through your fingers, you see? And then just get it all the way up to the top, kind of guide it. Once you hit the top, bring it back, start to bring it back down. And then you want to take, depending on your size of flower or leaf, because you can put a flower on the end, right? But they can get pretty heavy. 22 gauge floral wire. I also have these leaves on 22 gauge, but you can do a smaller gauge on the leaves if you want. So smaller is actually higher in number, so like 26 or something. It really just depends on how heavy things are, right? But I have the same gauge here. So take your full wire and you just kind of line it up right here where it is, and you want to kind of hide it and start rolling those two together and connect. You see, like this. Right, go down pretty far. Just, work at it a little. Make sure you pull the tape every now and then just so it's nice and tight, sticking to each other. And then when you get it pretty far, actually, I always like to go down to wherever I cut the floral wire. All right, so that's good. Again, I am not a professional floral and foliage fondant maker. I'm more of a sculptor, but practice it all, right? So anyway, there we have it. So next, lay it aside. Take a bigger leaf than your top leaf. Take your tape, stretch it out, stretch. All right, do the same thing, right? So what we're gonna do is start in the middle. That way, if it's a little bumpy or imperfect, you cover it up. But look, ooh, I did that one fast. I always get excited when I'm like, oh, I'm getting better. Okay, so I got it up the top, right? Let's bring it back down. Make sure it's really nice looking at the top. Once I get down, you see about that far. This is where it starts to be really awesome. And take your other leaf. And you want to bring it down about how naturally. Make sure that your leaf veining is correct, because they do vein, well, at least the veiner that I have for my leaf fondant, it does have different veining on each side. So yeah, so anyway, let's kind of straighten that guy back out. So I'm gonna line it up, you see. Let's see, whoops, hold on there. And I feel like that's a good place right there where it looks kind of natural. And then I'm gonna take the tape and I'm gonna start to connect them. You see what I did there? And then, yay. And then what's great is you can kind of, now I want this cake to be more abstract. So if I was doing regular leaves, I would have let the leaves dry a little bit more organically. But these ones are really kind of straight and flat. So I am using the floral wire to give it more of the organic movement of leaves, right? But depending on what you're doing. Okay, so we're gonna cut it, right? Yep, there we go. And ta-da. All right, ta-da. Okay, let's do one more, just cause, right? Cause, I mean, this, why? We need another one. Okay, so again, stretch your tape. It's very, 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 very important. Don't rip it, or if you do, laugh about it, move on. Okay, and let's get it started. Ooh, get fast at that connecting part. That makes me feel real excited. Okay, look at that. Look at that. What? Okay, so again, take this guy, and then you take this guy, and you line it up. Just bend your wire, go doot doot. Bend, look, you see how they're lined up? There it is, not here. It's not way up here. No, naturally leaves are like this. They're kind of in pairs, but they're slightly off. But guess what? It's cake, it's art. There's no rules. Whoa, mind blown, do whatever you want. Make it cool, right? There's no rules. It doesn't have to be just like nature, or it can be just like nature. That's the beauty of art. You can create something new, right? So look at that. Look at that. We got it all the way down. Now here's the thing with floral wire. It should never be in a cake. Right? I usually try to use barbecue skewers and toothpicks when I'm making my decorations, or dowels. But when I do use floral wire, I will cover it with tape because floral tape is food safe. You should always use floral tape on real flowers. I don't do real flowers with a cake because of the toxicity, and I'm not a florist, right? Okay, so look, you see, and then I'm gonna cut it. Now it is food safe. Look at that, what happened there? So what I'm gonna do, look, the great thing about wire is now I can move it how I want, right? I could make it, you gotta be careful though, because you know, gum paste is, it can be helpful, you know. Fondant and gum paste is fragile, but if I want to turn that a little, now I can put these behind flowers on my cake and add a little bit of three-dimensionality to the cake. I bet you will be excited to see this cake that these are for. It'll be next week, unless I post this video in like 8 days, and then maybe you've already seen the cake. But that's all I got. If you have questions on how to do this, again, am I the best person at this? No. Am I pretty good at it? I'm all right, right? I know how to do it. That's important. So if you have questions or anything like that, reach out, okay? Here's a tutorial. Yay, look at me, I did it. Bye.